You know, there's something absolutely extraordinary that happens when two awakened souls meet. It's not the romance you read about in novels, not the fairy tale love the world sells us. It's something quieter, something far more profound. Most people come together to fill an emptiness. Two hearths hoping to make a whole. Two drowning hearts clinging to stay afloat. But when two beings who have truly awakened meet, they don't come together out of need. They meet out of freedom, not to complete each other, but to celebrate the mystery of existence itself. This is what happens when two awakened souls meet. Most relationships, if we're honest, are born from a quiet sense of lack. Two people searching for something they believe is missing within themselves. We call it falling in love, but so often it's really falling into need. We reach for another, hoping they can fill the emptiness we feel inside. Two empty cups trying to pour into each other, two incomplete hearts trying to make a whole. And while there's nothing wrong with this, it's where most of humanity lives. These connections are built upon a misunderstanding, the belief that happiness lies somewhere outside of us, that someone else can complete us. But love built on need is fragile. It clings, it fears, it demands. Because when we believe we are incomplete, we turn relationships into a search for what was never lost, our own wholeness. An awakened soul has discovered something the world rarely teaches, that nothing and no one was ever missing. They have touched the quiet truth beneath all the noise, that the love they were seeking was never outside of themselves. Such a person no longer looks for completion in another. They no longer chase affection as a way to escape loneliness. They have seen through the illusion of separateness, that idea that we are small fragments trying to find our missing half. Instead, they live from a place of fullness. They are the universe, aware of itself, experiencing life through a single fleeting form. And so, when two awakened beings meet, something beautiful happens. They don't need each other, and that changes everything. Their connection is not born from hunger, but from overflow, not from desperation, but from choice. They share because they have something to share. They love because love moves through them effortlessly. There is no grasping, no clinging, no fear of loss. They can stand side by side, complete and free like two flames burning brightly, each illuminating the other without taking from its light. In such a meeting, there is no attempt to fill a void, no trying to fix or save or possess. There is only recognition, the silent understanding that says, I am whole and so are you. Let us meet as equals in the mystery of being. This is the nature of awakened souls. Two beings who have stopped searching for love because they have become it. When two awakened souls come together, there is a freedom most people have never known, because neither person is trying to control, to hold, or to own the other. There is no bargaining for affection, no silent fear of being abandoned. Each one stands whole within themselves, and from that wholeness, love becomes spacious. It's a love without cages. You see, when you no longer believe another person exists to complete you, you stop trying to make them fit the image in your mind. You allow them to be what they are, unfolding, changing, unpredictable. And that freedom is what gives the relationship its beauty. They can move together or apart, and neither movement threatens what they are, because what binds them is not possession, it's presence. They trust each other not because of promises or control, but because they recognize something unshakable within themselves. When an awakened person looks at another awakened person, they don't see a body or a personality to mold. They see consciousness looking back at itself, the same awareness shining through two pairs of eyes. It's as if the universe is meeting itself again, smiling at its own reflection through another form. This understanding removes the weight of expectation. There is no pressure to always be the same, no demand to meet a certain standard of affection. They can simply exist freely, honestly. There's no jealousy that poisons, no insecurity that burns. Of course, emotions may still rise, sadness, anger, desire, but they are felt and released like waves passing through open sky. Nothing is denied, nothing is clung to. In that kind of freedom, honesty becomes natural. You can speak your truth without fear because you know that being yourself won't drive love away. You can disagree without trying to win. You can listen without planning your reply. You can walk your own path and still hold the other's hand. It's a relationship without masks. Both people are naked in spirit, not in the physical sense, but in the way they show their being without armor. They have nothing to hide and nothing to prove. And so, communication becomes effortless. It's not debate, it's exploration. It's two consciousnesses playing together, discovering themselves anew. There's a deep relaxation in this kind of connection because you're not pretending anymore. You're not performing for approval or changing your colors to be love. You are simply being, and that being is enough. And here's the beautiful paradox. When there is no need to control or possess, love flourishes. It becomes alive, fluid, spontaneous. It breathes, it evolves, it expands. You stop clutching it tightly out of fear of losing it. And in that letting go, it grows even stronger. Awakened love is not about sameness. It's about harmony between differences. Like two dancers who trust each other completely, they move separately yet remain perfectly in rhythm. No one leads, no one follows. Both flow with the music of life. And when you love like this, you realize that freedom and connection are not opposites. They are two sides of the same truth. To allow someone to be fully themselves is the highest expression of love. And to be truly yourself without fear is the deepest gift you can give in return. This is authenticity, not a mask of perfection, but the courage to be real, to be open, to love without chains, and to stand without fear. When two awakened souls meet in this way, their love becomes a mirror, reflecting not possession, not dependency, but the infinite freedom of being itself. When two awakened souls meet, there is a moment of quiet recognition, a stillness that moves deeper than words, deeper than thought. It's not love at first sight in the ordinary sense. It's not attraction born from desire or appearance. It's something timeless, the instant awareness of, there you are. It's the soul recognizing itself through another form, as if two mirrors suddenly realize they've always been reflecting the same light. In that meeting, all the usual social masks fall away. There's no need to impress, no instinct to hide. Each person feels safe enough to simply be, open, unguarded, transparent. And this recognition changes everything, because when you see another being, not as an object, not as a role, but as consciousness itself, looking back at you, a deep reverence arises, not for who they are as a personality, but for what they are as existence itself. You no longer relate to the surface, the story, the opinions, the form. You meet beneath it in the silent knowing that says, I am that which sees, and so are you. From that space, communication becomes a dance. They are not exchanging ideas to win an argument or to prove a point. They are playing, exploring awareness together. Words lose their heaviness. They become music, not weapons. They can disagree completely, and yet the disagreement never threatens their bond because neither is identified with being right. They are not their thoughts. They are the space in which thought happens. When awakened souls speak, their words rise from presence, not from ego. When they listen with their whole being. There is no waiting for a turn to respond, no filtering through personal agenda or hidden motives. There is simply an openness, a genuine curiosity about what is unfolding. Each word becomes sacred, not because of its meaning, but because of the awareness behind it. And sometimes they don't need to speak at all. There can be long, silent stretches between them, but the silence is not empty. It's alive, full, vibrating with understanding. It's as if consciousness itself is resting in its own reflection. There's no pressure to fill the air with sound, no need to prove connection through constant conversation. Just the quiet joy of existing together. Even their laughter carries a different quality. They laugh not at others, not to hide discomfort, but at the great cosmic joke of being human. They see the absurdity of it all, the way consciousness plays hide and seek with itself, forgetting and remembering, losing and finding again and again. They can laugh at their own stories, their old fears, their former selves, because they no longer take any of it so seriously. This recognition, this seeing, is the foundation of awakened love. It is not built on attraction or convenience or comfort. It is built on the direct experience of unity, the realization that behind two faces there is one awareness. And in that recognition, every glance, every word, every silence becomes a celebration of the same truth, that we were never separate and love was never between two. It was always the one seeing itself. When two awakened souls come together, their connection becomes a dance, not of possession, but of pure consciousness moving through form. It is not a transaction, not a performance, not a strategy for happiness. It is play. It is the universe delighting in itself, discovering new ways to express its own infinite beauty. Each person moves freely, yet somehow they remain in harmony. Like two waves on the same ocean, rising and falling in rhythm without ever trying to control the tide. There is no competition, no need to lead or follow. There is only flow. Each gesture, each word, each touch becomes a spontaneous expression of the same awareness, celebrating its reflection in another. They don't approach each other to escape themselves. They come together because being together amplifies what they already are. Presence meeting presence. Wholeness recognizing wholeness. They are not using one another to fill an emptiness. They are sharing from abundance, from fullness, from joy. And because there is no need, there is no fear. Because there is no clinging, there is no loss. Love in this form is not fragile. It breathes. It expands. It gives and receives effortlessly without grasping or withholding. This dance is not limited to words or emotion. It moves through silence, through laughter, through simple acts. A glance, a shared breath, a touch that carries no demand. In every moment, awareness plays through them both, exploring the texture of existence from two sides of the same mirror. It's not an escape from reality, it is reality lived fully. Their connection doesn't pull them out of the world, it grounds them deeper into it. Every encounter becomes sacred not because of ritual or intention, but because awareness itself is awake within the moment. Even physical intimacy, when it happens between awakened souls, is an extension of this cosmic play. It's not about validation, not about need, not about using another's body to forget your own emptiness. It becomes a celebration, a merging of presence with presence, consciousness with consciousness. It's not about seeking pleasure to numb the mind. It's the joy of awareness touching itself in form. There's no performance, no striving to impress, no roles to maintain, only presence, completely alive, completely surrendered to the moment. Every movement, every breath becomes sacred because both are fully here. And within this dance, there is no pressure to always be together. They understand the rhythm of connection, the inhale and the exhale of relation. Sometimes they move close, sometimes they drift apart, and both movements are beautiful. They don't cling to constant togetherness. They honor space as much as union, because love that is awake knows that distance does not mean disconnection. It is simply another rhythm in the infinite dance. They can walk separate paths and still remain joined at the level of being. Their connection doesn't fade when words stop, nor does it depend on proximity or promise. It is alive because it flows from the source, the ever-present awareness that moves through both. This is the dance of consciousness. Two souls who have remembered what they are, playing, creating, exploring, not to become one, but to remember that they have always been one. And through this sacred play, they reveal what love truly is, not attachment, not desire, but the freedom of existence celebrating itself in endless motion. To live beyond attachment is to finally understand that love was never meant to be a cage. It was never meant to bind, to own, or to demand. When two awakened souls meet, they know this truth deeply, that love cannot survive where there is control, and freedom cannot breathe where there is possession. They can be together or apart with equal ease. Their connection doesn't depend on proximity or constant reassurance. They don't cling to endless togetherness or fear the moments of solitude. They understand that closeness and distance are both sacred movements in love's rhythm, as natural as the tide, as effortless as breathing in and out. When one moves away, it isn't rejection, it's space. When one returns, it isn't conquest, it's flow. There's no panic in the pause, no insecurity in the silence. Because love, when it is awake, does not disappear in absence, it expands, it deepens, it listens. Each soul honors the other's path, knowing that growth sometimes happens apart. They don't try to hold back change, they welcome it. If life calls one of them toward a different horizon, the other does not resist the pull of that destiny. They know that love doesn't end when paths diverge. It simply takes a new form, another expression of the same infinite awareness. And when they are together again, their reunion isn't about reclaiming what was lost, but celebrating what has continued all along. Because the bond of awakened souls is not tied by time or space. It is woven through consciousness itself. There's no fear of abandonment, because they know they can never truly be abandoned. You cannot lose what you already are. You cannot be left behind by something that lives within you. They might feel sadness when a chapter closes, but it is not the desperate grief of loss. It is the gentle ache of love transforming, evolving, moving forward. Even jealousy, when it arises, is met with awareness. It is seen, felt, and released, not fed, not turned into story. They don't fight emotion, they allow it. They don't deny humanity, they embrace it without identification. Each feeling becomes a wave that passes through open sky, acknowledged, accepted, and set free. To love beyond attachment means to see the other as free, utterly untouchable in their essence. The awakened heart understands that no one can ever truly belong to you, just as the wind or the ocean can never be owned. And yet, paradoxically, this freedom brings a deeper intimacy, because love that does not seek to possess can finally see clearly. They no longer try to hold the bird in their hands. They watch it soar and marvel at its flight. They no longer close their fists around beauty. They open their palms and let it rest there willingly. When two awakened souls love in this way, their connection is no longer built on fear, not on the need to secure, to guarantee, to bind. It's built on trust in the natural intelligence of life itself. They surrender to the unfolding, not to each other, but together, to something larger than both. Their love becomes a current of the universe, flowing where it must, taking the shape it needs. They do not resist it, they do not control it. They let it move through them like light through glass. And in that surrender, they find the deepest security of all, the knowing that nothing real can ever be lost. Beyond attachment, love is no longer a story between two people. It becomes a state of being, a presence that radiates in all directions, peaceful, fearless, and infinite. There comes a point when the awakened relationship no longer seeks the extraordinary, because it begins to see the extraordinary in everything. The sacred does not appear only in moments of bliss or in mystical visions. It reveals itself in the smallest gestures, in the quiet rhythm of daily life. When two awakened souls live together, the ordinary becomes radiant. Washing dishes, folding clothes, sitting in traffic, each act is infused with presence. They are not rushing through these moments to reach something better. They are completely here, fully alive within them. Nothing is mundane when awareness is awake. They no longer divide life into sacred and ordinary, because they see that everything is sacred when met with full attention. Each breath, each step, each glance is a prayer, not to something beyond, but to what is. The divine is not somewhere else, it's right here, in the taste of tea, in shared laughter, in the warmth of a hand resting quietly in another's. Before awakening, love often waits for the special occasion, for the perfect moment, the grand gesture, the miracle. After awakening, love no longer waits, it lives. It flows through every detail, finding holiness in the simplicity of existence itself. There's a saying from Zen: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. The outer life looks the same, but the inner quality is completely transformed. Every action, no matter how small, becomes an expression of gratitude and awareness. Two awakened souls can sit together in silence, and that silence becomes richer than 1,000 conversations. They don't need to fill the space with noise, because the connection is already full. Presence is enough. In that stillness, they feel the pulse of life moving through everything. They recognize that they are not doing life, they are life, unfolding in perfect harmony. And this realization brings a deep peace. The search ends. The longing to reach somewhere else dissolves. They see that every moment, exactly as it is complete. Nothing missing, nothing lacking, even the imperfections of daily living. The mess, the mistakes, the moments of tension are not distractions from the sacred, they are the sacred, wearing a different face. To live this way is to fall in love with simplicity, to see the divine not as something to be found, but as something that has never left. Awakened souls don't chase miracles, they bow to the miracle that every moment already is. Together they find beauty in the gentle repetition of life, the morning light through the window, the shared meal, the soft laughter before sleep. Each of these moments becomes a reminder that enlightenment was never about escaping the world, but about finally seeing it clearly. The sacred ordinary is love made visible in the present moment. It's the realization that eternity is not somewhere in the future, it's now, in this breath, in this glance, in this simple, unremarkable act of being. When two awakened souls meet, something wordless unfolds. A love that is not about need, not about possession, but about recognition. They see through the illusion that they are two separate beings. They know in the deepest part of their being that they are expressions of the same consciousness, the same vast stillness, wearing different faces. Their relationship becomes a mirror, not to reflect each other's flaws, but to reveal what is infinite and unchanging beneath them both. They don't chase perfection, they embody presence. They don't promise forever, they live fully in now. And paradoxically, that timelessness often lasts longer than any love built on fear or control. Their union is a gentle reminder that love is not something we fall into, it's what rises naturally when we remember who we are. They surrender not to each other, but together, to life itself. They let the current of existence shape their bond, trusting that whatever form it takes will be the perfect expression of the moment. Through them, love becomes transparent. No masks, no expectations, no story to defend, just being. And in that being they find peace. Even challenges become sacred teachers, guiding them deeper into awareness. Every misunderstanding, every contrast is simply another doorway back to truth. And when they part, whether for a day or a lifetime, they do so without bitterness because nothing real is ever lost. The love that joined them doesn't end. It widens, it becomes the air, the light, the quiet blessing touching everyone around them. Their presence together leaves a trace of calm, a field of stillness that others can feel, even if they can't explain it. This is the secret of awakened love, that it does not seek to hold or to keep, but to reveal. It shows us that love was never between two hearts. It was the one heart recognizing itself in another form. And in that recognition, in that simple luminous seeing, the universe remembers its own face. It smiles through two souls who are no longer searching, no longer needing, just being. Together, completely free.